Come on, record. Come on. Good evening, everyone of Spanish United. How are you? This is Enrique Sanchez, the founder and director. Today we have a very special guest. Would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
This is Jennifer Benson with the band Ignescant.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, I invited you on the show because I wanted to discuss the topic of Christian music, Christian rock, and the Hispanic community. And I've known you for a couple of years. It's amazing how we met. You sent me random friend requests. I accepted you, and then that's how we became acquainted. So I wanted to ask you, how long have you been in the industry? And from your perspective, being in the industry, like, what's your ratio of Hispanic artists that are in the Christian rock in the industry?
I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and yeah, a little bit of time. And as far as Spanish, I do see some, like the band Relent, and I know Seventh Day Slumber. I think they have some Spanish members, and but I don't see a lot in Christian rock, but I do see some.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're into different styles of music, but I really don't know. That's just a great question.
The reason why I asked, because prior to me becoming Christian, like, the only Christian band that I knew of that was mainstream was POD. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I know them. I love their music, and yeah.
Yeah, so POD is like the only well-known Christian band that is primarily Hispanic, and they have Hispanic members. But other than them, like you mentioned, those few other ones, it's like most people tend to associate Christian music, especially Christian rock, with associated with people that are WASP. So one of the things that as a Hispanic civil rights activist is to try to find out why in certain industries you don't see so many people, and what can be done, like, to bring more people into the genre. Because in many Christian concerts that I've been to, I've seen a lot of Hispanic people that are there that are Christians, but again, I don't see too many Hispanic artists that doesn't necessarily mean they have to sing Spanish music, but they can identify with. So that's something I've always seen to be missing, because I've been to many different concerts. I've been to POD, I've seen POD, Demon Hunter, War of Ages, all these particular bands. I got to meet a few of them myself, like POD and a Demon Hunter and other ones. But
Awesome.
I would love to see more Hispanic artists. So, like, from your perspective, like, what do you think can be done? Like, for example, that, like, already artists that are in the industry that are already established, like, what can be done to, like, bring more Hispanic artists into Christian rock, Christian music?
Maybe create more awareness of Christian rock. I mean, I know there's not a ton of Christian rock artists compared to the secular world, and maybe it's just getting more awareness of the genre out there. And I don't know if that's something, and just encouraging people just to pursue that. And I don't know, it just could be more of an awareness thing. But yeah, I mean, that's a great question. It's a tough question. But it's a really tough question.
I hope I didn't catch you off guard or anything. This is like a sincere question. I would like to see more Hispanic artists that are Christian, doing Christian music, Christian rock.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, in the past, and I've written with some Hispanic songwriters. Jose, that was at one time in the band Ignescant and a few others. And so that, I mean, that was just really cool, and just to get their perspective on just the different styles and all that. So I've had some experience with that. But yeah, as far as getting, more Hispanic people involved, maybe it's just encouraging them, them, and just bringing more awareness of Christian rock, but.
And in your concerts and your venues, like, has there been like many like Hispanic, people in the audience, or not that many?
Yeah, there has been. There has been some. There definitely has been some.
Yeah, because here in Southern California, you have a lot, that go to many, venues, but I'm not sure too much about Chicago. You're based out of Chicago, correct?
Yeah, there is a high Hispanic population in Chicago area. So, there definitely has been some Hispanic, people, and we do have some Hispanic fans too. I get messages from people on like our Ignescant Facebook, and actually, interesting enough, I've gotten some messages in Spanish just the last week. I don't know why that is, that it's been in the last like week or two, but I can't read Spanish. So I don't know what they're saying, but I tried to put it even in Google Translator, but it was like the message was kind of longer, and so it didn't quite work. So, so Ignescant, we do have some Hispanic fans, and I looked them up to see where they're from, and some are from Mexico. I think some are from Brazil area. But like I said, I don't read and speak Spanish, so I don't know what they said. But and interesting enough, we also are doing a fest in Mexico called Exito. I think it's called Exito Fest. It's in, and I might be butchering the name of the city because I'm not good with this, but I think it's Tuxtla or Tuxtla, Mexico. It's like an hour and a half from Mexico City.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area.
Oh, okay. And I might have totally butchered the city name, but but yeah, we're playing there. And I think it's Friday, April 7th, I believe. For the first time, like we've never played in Mexico. So that will be pretty cool to just meet, people there and talk to them. And so I'm very excited actually about that.
So I can imagine that this is your first time that you are performing overseas, correct?
Yeah, well, I have performed in Europe, like in Germany before, but as far as and that was as a solo artist. And so yeah, so as far as with Ignescant, with the band, this will be the first time overseas.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, I think I always believe that, music is a way that people can relate to each other. I've always said there's two types of tools that are universal. You don't need to speak the same language, which is music and math, as they say, because numbers, you could do numbers in any language. Doesn't matter if you speak English, you speak Chinese, you speak whatever. Numbers are universal, and so is with music. One thing that I have to say that in my case with Christian rock music, there's been times in my life where I have not been in the greatest part of my life, and I've always felt that Christian rock has been able to relate to me in ways that other genres haven't, because it speaks to you in a way with raw emotions and feelings that's not conventional as like a traditional hymn or traditional gospel song, which is like praise the Lord or whatever, etc. So right. I think when you have a genre of music that speaks to the people, especially in a way that they could understand, I think it could, help a lot of people. And I see in the Hispanic community, there's like a lot of social problems, a lot of social issues, and You know, I would love to see a lot of, you know, more like Hispanic artists, you know,
Yeah,
not necessarily speaking Spanish, but you know, that can
right,
relate to, you know, the people, because it's like a lot of people have told me, hey, I would love to like become Christian, but I feel that all the churches that I've been to, I'm not saying me, just saying for others, that
right.
all the churches that I've been to that are, you know, born again or evangelical, they tend to be all, you know, Caucasian people, so I feel out of place. So
Interesting.
you know, yes. So you as a Christian artist, like what would you say to these Hispanic, you know, people that want to become Christian, they want to be part of the faith, or they want to listen to, you know, music that will uplift them, but they cannot identify with. So like, what would you tell them?
As far as artists or finding a church,
Both.
both. I mean, personally, we are a part of a church that is very diverse and multiracial, and we actually sought that out because that's what we wanted. And I agree, there's not many out there. I totally agree. Um, but I believe if you know, hopefully, I mean, obviously, different areas are different. I get that, um, but it's been interesting. Even in different areas, we'd be able to find at least one church, like Bible believing church, um, that is, yeah, I mean, that is diverse and has many different races, and that's, I would say just try to just keep seeking that out, and even if you have to go a little farther out, and again, it depends where you live. I get it, but just pray for God to help you find that place, um and as far, and what Ignescent is really, I mean, that's another thing that we are about, not just about God's love, um but I'm just the beauty of how God has created us differently. Like Ian, um the bass player of Ignescent, he's Filipino, and so it's really cool, just that we're just not all I guess I don't know how to say it. We're not all a bunch of white people, but our band is diverse too. So it's really um, something that I hope that can, help people and help people relate to us more that way, and just be encouraged. And with all the racial garbage going on in the world,
Mhm.
and all that, I want us to be like a symbol of the way God meant it to be, and a symbol of unity and love and respect, you know um, but the beauty of being different too. So yeah, so I would just encourage that. Yes, there's not a lot. I mean, they're right, and there's not a lot of bands that are like that. It's um but I mean, that's honestly what one of the things that Ignescent strives for. So just keep looking, and there's a lot of independent artists out there too. Um and then um just because not every band isn't like that, just maybe try to look past that too, um and just listen to the message, and in the heart of these people who are doing Christian rock, and doing ministry, and how they're just loving people, and encouraging them with their message. And one artist that comes to mind, I don't know, do you know who Zana is? Have you heard of her?
No, she doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's Hispanic, and she's played at some fests. I think it was at Kingdom Come Fest, the same day we played at. But yeah, but also look her up. Her husband and her are in the band, but yeah, she's Hispanic, and she actually and I think some of her recording.
Hello. Okay, continue where you left off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would just recommend checking out Zana too. She's a Spanish artist, and um, I mean, her style is rock, and she's played at a lot of the fests that we've played at Kingdom Come Fest in Indiana, and I know, I mean, mainly her songs are in English, but she does a few. I think she does part of them where she does, actually sings in Spanish, but her style is pretty cool. So I would definitely check her out.
All right. And another thing I was gonna ask for the listeners, what does your band name mean? And the second question would be, I just had it on the top of my head before I was having, technical difficulties. That's for the first question is, what does the name of your band mean? And the second question would be, is I just forgot. But, let's just start with the first question then, and when I remember, I'll ask you as we go. I'm sorry.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. So Ignescent means to ignite. So it means to ignite people's hearts on fire for Jesus and with our music. And so it's interesting. I was kind of praying for a name for the band, and I was looking through the dictionary, and I don't know why, but I stopped in the eyes and I saw this word that I've never heard before. It's called, and it said ignescent. I'm like, that is perfect. It's just the perfect meaning for what I was looking for, to ignite. So
Oh, it's kind of interesting because ignescence and evanescence kind of sounds similar.
yeah, there's a few people that have said that, and I didn't realize that actually when I picked out the name, but it definitely does have a similar name. And a lot of people are like, how do you say this? Like, they have a hard time pronouncing it too. But
Yeah, and was similar because I have your album, the one that you sent to me, and
Mhm.
your style of singing is very similar to Amy Lee of Evanescence. Were you influenced by her by any chance?
Yeah, I was definitely influenced by her. Also by Lacey Sturm of Flyleaf. Like, she was been a huge influence on me too.
Nice. Have you had a chance to go on tour with Evanescence or with Flyleaf or no?
Yeah, we actually opened for Flyleaf at Subterranean Chicago, and I got to meet all of them. And Samir Badakara of Flyleaf actually played at a show with us, like with Ignescent, last. I think it was March, for our like CD release show. So he played with us in Aurora, and then he played a show with us as well in Wisconsin. So that was really cool. And then we got to open for Lacey Sturm for her solo project, and I got to meet her and everything. So that was really cool. We played with her at a few shows. So it was really cool to be able to meet her because I'm a huge fan. So that was pretty awesome. But as far as Evanescence, I haven't met them or Amy Lee yet. Like, that's something I'm hoping in 2023. I would love to do a show with them and to meet them, and and meet Amy Lee. That would be so cool. But when we were on tour in the South recently, we met one of the owners of the clubs that we were playing at, and he said before they became big, like before Evanescence became big, they used to play there a lot, I guess, um, and he knew or he knows Amy Lee, so it was uh, kind of cool to hear more information like about them. And he said he was someone who helped get them actually signed to a big record deal because he sent their CD into a label that he knew. And
Yeah, that's
uh,
Wind Up Records.
yeah, so that was really cool to meet this guy and just to hear all his stories about them. It was like really cool. This was at a place in Arkansas. So
Yeah, that's where they're originally from, Arkansas.
okay, yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But I haven't met them yet. So
Okay, I just remember, just came to my mind. Yes, the second part of the question would be, right now with the whole issue of our critical race theory and illegal immigration, like a lot of Hispanics feel that they're being persecuted in some ways. So
Mhm.
as an artist, like yourself, how do you think, what can be done to reach out to them where they don't feel that they're being, stereotyped or being persecuted? Because unfortunately, in the church today,
Yeah.
a lot of the far right propaganda has gotten in. So from your perspective, what can be done to like deflect that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the main thing that I can personally do is just, share God's love with them and encourage them, and um, let them know they're heard and they're not alone, and that God loves them and He sees, what they're going through. He sees their pain, and so um, that's what I can do personally, and that's what um, you know um, other people or other Christian artists can just reach out to them and just really encourage them in that way, and just love them, like um, just love and encourage them. That um, I think that's the best thing that we can do, or I can do
Right.
personally. So
And also another question in terms of Spanish United, have you gotten a chance to really like look at the group, look at the organization on what I do or anything like that, or you haven't had the chance?
a little bit, yeah. Sorry, I've been so crazy busy honestly, this past month has been crazy. So yeah, I will definitely look more into that. I've kind of briefly glanced, but yeah, that's something I need to look into more and check out more.
Okay, nice, nice. Well, this wraps up, our interview. So luckily I was able to save a good part of the first part and this one. So I'll just squeeze it in,
But
edit it into one interview. I wanted to tell you, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. I apologize for the technical difficulties that, it just happens, but I'm glad we were
that's
able
okay.
to get the interview, at the perfect time frame. So when I'm done, I will send you the link and you could share it with your band, the group, or whoever you want to share it with.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have yourself a wonderful evening and say hi to Tim and Cass.
I will. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too.
Bye bye.